Welcome back to another episode of You Served, You Deserve. And I'm Stacey Michelon, your host. And I want to thank you for joining. If this is the first time, I hope you enjoy as much as I do doing these type of episodes and interviews. Now, today is really something special because I have not only a veteran on the air today, I have a personal friend, a brother. He served 14 years in the United States Army. I'm not going to say we're close to the same age because he'll be offended by that, but we're close to the same age. And we're going to talk about a little bit about his military career, how we met. We met here in the Philippines, and we're going to go over that a little bit, and how we put together this company, Veterans Advocate Center. So please tune in. It's going to be an exciting show. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Rob Bailey. Rob,
thank you,
welcome to the show.
Appreciate you.
Thanks. Rob, let's just get into this right away. You served in the United States Army for 14 years, but you served in different divisions of the Army, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
I started out with the Michigan Army National Guard, went active duty, and then back in the reserves for a bit, then in the Guard.
Okay. Now, what was your MOS?
51 Mike was my first MOS, a crash rescue firefighter.
Okay.
And then I switched over to 95 Bravo, military police, and then back to a crash rescue firefighter.
Now, this is important, guys. You see, he was MP in the military, and it carried over in his civilian life. Rob, what did you do when you got out of the military? What was one of your jobs?
I was a correction officer. Yep. I worked for the state of Michigan as Michigan Department of Corrections for 8 years.
There you go. Rob, when you were deployed, you had shared something with me. You were young. You were 20 years old.
Yep.
And what happened when you were overseas?
Well, the most special thing was my daughter Natasha was born.
Natasha.
Yep.
Natasha served herself also in the Air Force, correct?
Yes, yes. And the funny thing about it is when I was over there, I came home on leave because she was born 5 weeks early. So I came back over. I took a picture back to Saudi Arabia with me, and I was actually offered $100,000 for my daughter from an Arab guy who was a prince or something like that. I thought he was just joking. I'm like 20 years old. And,
so what did you do with the money? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, Natasha is a sweetheart. In fact, he has two daughters, and they're both great daughters. In fact, Natasha's a nurse, right?
Yes, she is a nurse now.
Yeah, she's a nurse. I have to ask you, though, how was that being in the military and having your wife over there and having a baby? Was that against any regulations or rules?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
All right.
Can't control that, you know.
It's called a condom. No, I'm just kidding. Rob, I want to ask you, when you served, you were deployed quite a few times. What was your most stressful deployment? Or maybe not stressful, maybe life-threatening deployment that you recall?
I'd say 2003 and 4. I was up in Mosul, Iraq. We had mortars coming in daily, you know. We were right there on the pad where the airplanes, helicopters were, and the aircraft would fly in. Our job was to teach the Iraqi firefighters, you know, to take over when we left. And I guess, you know, trust issues with the local people because they're on their cell phone, they're making calls, and you don't know if they're really your friend. I guess, you know, coming from my background, you know, where I trusted everybody around me to trust really no one, especially on other, you know, the Iraqis who we were training. And again, we thought maybe they're calling in mortars or something. You know? After they get off the phone, then mortars are coming in.
If you don't mind me bringing this up, I'm going to bring up a little bit about your religion.
Okay.
Because before you went into the service, you were a Seventh-day Adventist, correct?
Yes.
As a Seventh-day Adventist or as a religious person, like you said, you trust people.
Right.
Your first nature is to missionary work, different things come to mind. How was that as a soldier now? Being also, because you still were a Seventh-day Adventist when you were in the military.
Right.
How was that line of thinking changed a little bit, or did it change?
No, I mean, for me, it didn't. I mean, they encouraged us to go in as a conscientious objector. Like, you probably all saw the movie with Desmond Doss in it, but I wasn't like that. It's like, no, give me a gun. Someone's shooting at me. I'm going to shoot back. Protect my brother, right? I mean, that's how I thought. And, of course, I love Desmond Doss. You know, what he did for the military was great.
What he's talking about, if you haven't seen the movie, it's Hacksaw Ridge. And Desmond Doss was, I believe, the first Seventh-day Adventist, wasn't he?
I wouldn't say he's the first, but he's the one
that was most recognized.
Yeah, most recognized.
Most recognized Seventh-day Adventist that went in. So
refused to carry a weapon.
Yep.
And
Sabbath on on Saturday and all that.
exactly.
Let's fast forward a little bit. Now, you get out of the military. You have another daughter, and you also traveled around a little bit. You were in Saipan.
Yep,
You lived there for a while,
that is correct.
and then you landed up in the Philippines. And this is where you and I met. Now, we'll talk about this in later shows, but I was taking care of a Korean War veteran at the time. We called him Big Bob. There was two Bobs. There was Little Bob and Big Bob. And again, we'll have another show about this. But
Man of men.
Man of men. Yeah, Big Bob was a man of men. He was a corpsman in the Korean War veteran in the Korean War. But when you and I met, we met around what,
16.
2015?
2015.
No, 2015.
Yeah, so, I want to say
14?
June of 2015.
2015.
Yes.
So over the course of 10 years, we've known each other because it's already 2025. I've heard your stories. I know that you met a lot of veterans while you were in Manila. And I started working with veterans after Big Bob had passed away. And together we set up a company. And today, Rob is one of my partners in this company. And there's another partner by the name of Chris, and you'll meet them. How do you find it being a veteran yourself and helping veterans?
Love it. And it's what life's about, is helping other people. Yeah. And I mean, a little bit about myself, and you know that it took me 11 years to get to 100%.
Yeah.
It took me 11 years. I didn't know what I was doing. And now, I mean, we're changing lives. I mean, we've literally helped veterans go from, myself, from 0 to 100% in less than 2 months. I mean, the average claim six months.
Sure.
But some last longer, some, are quicker.
Now, I'm going to stop for a second because I'm going to talk with the audience. Those of you veterans who are viewing right now the show, ask yourself, how long have you been trying to work on your benefits? How long has it been taking you to get some type of rating, if you have gotten a rating? The complexity of the paperwork itself, knowing what to fill out, what not to fill out, how many documents to fill out. This is where people like myself, Rob, our company comes in to help you go through all those things and help you get a rating. Our success rate is 100%. We've gotten everybody a rating.
Yes.
Sometimes you don't get it the first time. Sometimes you have to rebuttal it and know how to do the rebuttal properly. And those videos we'll be talking about in future dates. Rob, as a veteran yourself, right now, what would you say to our viewers if they're sitting on the fence right now, not sure if they should, maybe they feel like, I don't deserve to have these benefits? Because you and I talked about that. You told me the first time you heard about PTSD, I
denied it.
You denied it.
Yeah.
What would you say to the viewers?
Give us a call. Talk to one of our specialists, and get that intent to file in right away. I mean, we can help you with that. Get started. Don't wait. I mean, it's nothing you have to be shy about. We got issues. A lot of us. I mean, 98% of the veterans I work with, without deploying, suffer from depression and anxiety, and I'm 100% myself.
It's very important to not only just look at yourself and ask this, but ask your family members. Ask people that you served with, fellow veterans that you served with. I know over the course of time now, on your Facebook, you get a lot of messages that come through from friends and family members, and even spouses of veterans who have said, "Hey, my husband or my wife needs help, or they've been through this." So, Rob, I got to ask you, earlier you had mentioned about how you didn't feel you had PTSD. It took you 11 years to get your rating up to 100%. 11 years. Mm-hmm. But let's talk a little bit more. What's your rating? If you did the VA math, what's your rating overall right now?
Well, VA
not
rating,
VA math, but I mean,
100%.
Okay.
So VA rating goes to 100%. But
Correct.
if you add everything up, per injury, per disability, it's over 700%.
Over 700%. What would you say to the veterans right now who are sitting there going, I'm at 100%? What are some questions you actually ask a veteran when they say, I'm already 100%, Rob?
I would ask them, do you have SMC? And my question in 2019, I'd be, what is SMC? Special monthly compensation. Look it up. It's in the VA website. Give us a call, and we'll talk to you a little bit more about that.
Sure. There's also some other things. I know when a veteran will say to me, Stacey, I'm already at 100%, the first thing I usually ask them about SMC, special monthly compensation, but also, do you have any one thing at 100%? Because, and we'll talk about that in later shows, but there's an overall that you need one thing at 100%, a combination at 60%, and we'll talk about that because that goes into special monthly compensation, homebound, all kinds of different things, and loss of use.
Yeah, loss of use. I mean, it'll go all the way up to, depending on how bad you are. I mean, it could go up to $11,000 a month.
Sure. Now, I have to ask you. Right now, the viewers are looking at you, and they're saying, Rob, you're over 700%. You look pretty healthy to me. If you don't mind sharing, what are some of the disabilities you have that people can't really see besides the gray in your beard? What other disabilities?
Well, first of all, you got depression, anxiety, PTSD.
Sure.
It's an invisible injury. I mean, people can't see it, and it's just there, and people look at you like, oh, you're normal. I mean, but again, those things that we can't see, sometimes affect us the worst, right? Dealing with people, talking to people. And sometimes people have a hard understanding us vets and how we get,
Right. What about physically? What are some of the disabilities?
My back, my feet, my knees, every joint in my body is actually service connected.
You actually had back surgery, didn't you?
I've had 2 back surgeries, right knee surgery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, that's one thing. Veterans, you got to keep this in mind. Just because you look healthy, just because you're going to a gym, and you're trying to stay in shape and you're doing things, the body breaks down. As we get older, the body starts to break down. I know you and I have talked about this many times. You take a person who's 50 years old who never served in the military to a person who's 50 years old who served in the military, and you think, oh, this is probably getting old. But when an orthopedic doctor and the x-rays come back, you go, oh, I'm a little bit worse off than what I thought I was. And I know you've said that many times that you thought, oh, I'm not that bad off. And then you look at the x-rays or you talk with the doctor and you go, I'm messed up.
Yeah, those things we did in the military, I think they age us a lot more than the typical person. Our jobs, what we do, a lot of twisting, bending, intense physical activities, and they catch up. Those combat boots are some of the worst boots in the world. They affect us, and that works our way up, what affects our feet, affects our knees, hips, back, and so forth. And then not only that, that affects your mental health.
Yep.
The chronic pain that we have, it's depressing that I can't do those things that I did when I was younger. Snowboard, ski, snowmobile, even canoeing.
Yeah.
It really sucks.
You got to think about also when you served in the military, the equipment that you wore. I mean, you had your helmet, you had your M16, you had your backpack. You weighed how much when you were in the military back in your 20s? How much did you weigh?
Well, I was actually 149 pounds the day I joined. I was the only one who went to boot camp in AIT. I had to weigh 150 pounds to be a crash rescue firefighter. So I was able to go in and eat as many times as I could. I didn't because I didn't want to draw attention to myself. Right. But no, I mean, our gear probably, 60, road marches and, stuff like that weighed probably half of what I weighed. Some days.
Right. If there is one thing that you have to say to describe your life now compared to what it was before with what you're doing and the way you're doing it, what would that be?
It's just, it's been life-changing for the veteran and for myself.
Yeah.
It's such a good feeling to help other people. And to me, there's nothing better than to do is help our veterans.
Rob and I I'm going to have Rob back on the show because we're going to be talking about our experiences in Manila with other veterans, but as I mentioned before, with Big Bob, who was a man's man, and you guys are going to enjoy some of the stories with that. Well, Rob, listen, I want to thank you for joining the show. As I said, you are more than just a friend. You are my brother, and you are a business partner of mine, and we built just an unbelievable company. So I want to thank you again for coming.
Stacey.
I know you got some clients, to view or talk to. Listen, I want to tell all of you right now, if you're sitting there and you're wondering about, should I call? Should I send an email? Should I reach out? Do it. I mean, you heard what Rob said. It took him 11 years to get to 100%. Some of you are probably sitting there right now have given up. You probably have tried already and you gave up. Or you got a denial and you thought that was the end of it. Give us a call. If you like the show, hit subscribe, hit like, share it with your family, with your friends, with other veterans. But do something. Don't just sit there and wonder, do I deserve this? You served, you deserve. That's why I named the show, You Serve, You Deserve. I want to thank you again for listening to the show. I'm your host, Stacey Michelon of You Served, You Deserve. God bless you. Enjoy.